If you're a man over 60, I need your full attention. Because the reality is that just 4 seemingly innocent fruits, yes, fruits, might be silently damaging your circulation, weakening your erections, and eroding the intimacy you thought was secure. Not fried food, not red meat, not alcohol, fruits. The very ones sitting in your kitchen right now, disguised as healthy choices. But inside your system, they behave like a slow-acting toxin, ramping up estrogen, flooding your body with sugar, and inflaming the blood vessels that are crucial for blood flow to your most essential organ. My name is Dr. James. I've been a urologist and men's health expert for over 3 decades, dedicated to helping men regain their strength, restore their sexual health, and preserve their masculinity without relying on pills or surgery. I've treated thousands of men just like you, and what I'm about to reveal isn't theory. It's what actually works. Most men are never told, and that's why they keep consuming these 4 fruits, unaware that each bite might be pulling them further from the man they used to be. But that ends today, because in this video I'll reveal exactly which 4 fruits to cut out, and even more importantly, what to eat in their place. Fruits that support blood flow, enhance your masculine edge, and promote powerful performance well into your 70s and beyond. Stick with me, because the last fruit on this list is the most damaging, and chances are you're eating it every week thinking it's good for your heart. Before we begin, if staying sharp, energetic, and intimate after 60 matters to you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any future health tips designed specifically for men in your shoes. And if this message is connecting with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me create better, more targeted content for you. All right, now that you understand the stakes, let's get into the details. We'll start with the first fruit that might be causing more damage than benefit. It's tropical, sweet, and often considered a smart snack. But for men over 60, it can secretly undermine your hormones and circulation. I'm talking about pineapple. Here's why it matters. Fruit number 1, pineapple, the sugary seduction that elevates estrogen. I clearly remember when one of my longtime patients, Robert, 72 years old and a retired firefighter, walked into my office with tears in his eyes. Not from physical pain, but from deep frustration. He'd always been active, strong, alert, a man's man. But something had shifted in the past year. His energy was dwindling. His mental sharpness and sexual drive were fading. No matter how many supplements he tried or how clean his diet seemed, nothing was working. So we sat down and reviewed his daily meals in detail. That's when it clicked. Every morning, Robert began his day with a bowl of fresh pineapple. He was convinced it kept him regular and energized. But what Robert didn't know, and what many men don't, is that pineapple, though delicious and marketed as healthy, can actually mess with your hormones past 60. Pineapple is extremely high in fructose. When you're younger, your liver can manage that sugar relatively well. But once you pass 60, your metabolism slows and the liver loses its efficiency. Instead of converting fructose into energy, it starts storing it as visceral fat, especially around your midsection. And this is where the trouble begins. In older men, belly fat isn't passive. It becomes hormonally active. It begins converting your free testosterone, your core masculine hormone, into estrogen. Yes, estrogen, the hormone that softens you, slows you down, and heightens emotional sensitivity. It's also the hormone that suppresses libido, weakens arousal, and reduces erection firmness. Suddenly, that sweet morning pineapple becomes a hormonal saboteur. And that's not all. Pineapple is highly acidic. While your body may have tolerated that acidity in your younger years, now it can inflame your gut lining and provoke chronic low-grade inflammation. That inflammation doesn't just cause bloating or discomfort. It hardens your arteries, narrows blood vessels, and limits the flexibility your circulatory system needs for healthy blood flow. And when blood doesn't flow where it's needed, especially during intimate moments, performance suffers. For Robert, the issue wasn't age, medication, or effort. It was his morning fruit quietly betraying him every day. I'm not here to demonize any food. My mission is to help you identify what aligns with your body and what works against it, especially as you age. For men in their 60s and beyond, it's not just about eating healthily, it's about eating intelligently, making choices that preserve your hormones, fuel your blood flow, and protect your masculine vitality. So when Robert swapped pineapple for a better option, watermelon, he noticed a difference within just over a week. Why watermelon? Because it contains an amino acid called citrulline, which promotes the production of nitric oxide in your body. Nitric oxide helps dilate blood vessels, improve circulation, and ensures that blood reaches its intended destination when it's most needed. Within 10 days, Robert told me he woke up feeling like himself again, clearer, stronger, and yes, more capable in the bedroom. Not because of a magic pill, but because he learned what his body truly needed and what to stay away from. I share his story because small, well-meaning decisions can have major consequences. You're doing your best, you want to stay healthy, but no one warned you that the fruit you've trusted could be skewing your hormones. So if pineapple has been part of your morning routine, thinking you're doing the right thing, now you know the truth. You deserve to feel sharp, strong, and alive again. And it can start with something as simple as what's on your plate. But pineapple isn't the only hidden threat in your kitchen. There's another fruit, small, sweet, and seemingly innocent, that many men snack on without a second thought. But inside your bloodstream, it behaves more like candy than fruit. It spikes your sugar, disrupts circulation, and quietly damages the very vessels that fuel your intimacy. Let's talk about that next. If you're still with me, and this message is hitting home, type the number 1 in the comments to let me know. Let's keep going, because the next fruit may surprise you even more. Fruit number 2, grapes, the silent sugar ambush. When people think about foods that damage blood flow and sexual health, grapes usually don't make the list. In fact, they're often considered a smart choice. Easy to eat, packed with antioxidants, the perfect snack on a sunny day or a cozy evening. But I have to be real with you. For men over 60, grapes can be incredibly misleading. I had a patient named Gerald, 68, a retired school principal, who'd always tried to eat well. No soda, no desserts, but he loved his grapes. He kept a bowl on the counter and nibbled all day long. "They're nature's candy," he told me proudly, and that was exactly the issue. As we age, our bodies process glucose less efficiently, and insulin sensitivity drops, metabolism slows, and arteries become more reactive to sugar spikes. Grapes, especially green seedless ones, are packed with fast-absorbing sugars, and eating them throughout the day causes frequent blood sugar spikes. Those spikes are followed by crashes, and over time, this roller coaster leads to chronic inflammation. And here's the painful truth. Inflammation doesn't just make you tired or achy. It targets your endothelial cells, which line your blood vessels. These cells produce nitric oxide, the very molecule that tells your vessels when to expand and allow blood flow to your brain, your heart, and your intimate areas. When these cells are inflamed, nitric oxide production drops. Vessels stiffen, circulation weakens. Erections lose strength, volume, and reliability. Gerald noticed this too. He wasn't dealing with any major health issue, but his energy was down. And as he put it, he just felt dull, mentally and physically. His intimacy with his wife had declined. He assumed it was age. But after reviewing his habits, the grapes stood out. It's hard to believe, but those tiny fruits were delivering more sugar and stress than his body could handle. And there's more. Grapes contain resveratrol, a compound praised for heart health. That's true in moderation. But in large amounts, especially as a regular snack, resveratrol may thin the blood too much. And if you're already on blood pressure or blood-thinning medications, that can destabilize your circulation, especially during arousal. I advised Gerald to swap his grapes for blueberries, lower in sugar, richer in antioxidants, and far more gentle on an aging body. 2 weeks later, he called me. "Doc," he said, "I didn't realize how off I'd been feeling." His energy was up, his clarity returned, and his confidence, especially in the bedroom, was starting to build again. It wasn't instant, but it was real. This isn't about being perfect. It's about making precise choices Selecting fruits that nurture your hormones and blood flow instead of subtly breaking them down. Grapes may seem harmless, but they're a sugar spike in disguise. And at 60 or older, your body doesn't bounce back like it used to. You need every ounce of blood flow working for you. You need nitric oxide levels at their best. And that means saying goodbye to grapes, or at least replacing them with options that truly serve you. And there's more. Grapes aren't the only sweet deception. There's another fruit, creamy, portable, full of potassium, that's long been celebrated as the perfect snack. But it may be secretly stealing your drive, dulling your desire, and suppressing your testosterone levels. Let's look deeper. Fruit number 3, bananas, full of potassium, but blocking your testosterone. If there's one fruit almost every man I've treated keeps in his kitchen, it's the banana. It's quick, easy, rich in potassium, and widely believed to be a heart-healthy snack for all ages. Many men tell me they eat one every morning, confident that it's helping their blood pressure and circulation. And honestly, I believe that too, until I looked closer at what bananas actually do to the aging male body. Let me tell you about Clarence, a 70-year-old veteran who walked into my office last year. Firm handshake, deep voice, strong presence, the kind of man who doesn't like to complain. But that day he sat quietly in my office and said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm tired. I don't feel like a man." Those were his exact words. He wasn't just referring to intimacy. He meant his fire, his drive, his sense of internal strength. Everything had started to fade. We ran his blood work. His testosterone levels were low. Estrogen was slightly above normal. And his dopamine, the brain's key chemical for motivation and desire, was clearly out of sync, based on what he described. I asked him to walk me through his daily meals. When he got to breakfast, he said, "Every morning I have a banana, a cup of coffee, and some oatmeal." That's when the alarm bells went off. Bananas have their upsides, but for aging men, they also carry risks that are rarely discussed. First, they're loaded with natural sugars, mainly glucose and sucrose, which rapidly enter the bloodstream. That causes an insulin surge, followed by an inevitable energy drop. The effect is subtle, but over time, this daily cycle slowly chips away at your vitality. More critically, bananas increase serotonin, the neurotransmitter that promotes relaxation, calm, and sleep. Sounds good in theory, until you realize this. Serotonin competes with dopamine. When serotonin dominates, dopamine declines. And dopamine is what drives ambition, energy, excitement, and yes, sexual desire. This is why Clarence had lost his edge. His system was being saturated with a calming chemical that was gradually suppressing the very functions that make a man feel alive. And there was more. Bananas contain lectins, plant-based proteins that, in sensitive individuals, can irritate the gut lining, cause low-grade inflammation, and impair nutrient absorption. One of the key nutrients affected? Zinc, a mineral critical for testosterone synthesis. When zinc levels drop, so does testosterone, resulting in reduced energy, softer erections, and diminished confidence across the board. So I proposed a simple change. For just 2 weeks, Clarence would skip the banana and eat half an avocado each morning instead. Unlike bananas, avocados are loaded with healthy fats that support hormonal balance. They don't trigger insulin spikes. They're great for testosterone, and they provide potassium without the sugar overload. 2 weeks later, Clarence walked into my office with a grin I hadn't seen in a long time. "Doc," he said, "I feel sharper, more alert, and my wife noticed, too." That's the impact of aligning your diet with what your body truly needs after 60. It's not about giving up the foods you like. It's about understanding which ones still support your goals and which ones slowly steer you away from the man you want to be. Bananas might be great for younger men and athletes, but at this stage in life, they could be holding you back in ways you never expected. And here's the thing. If something as soft and sugary as a banana can disrupt your testosterone and kill your drive, imagine what happens when you combine sugar with acidity. There's one more fruit, one that most kitchens are never without, especially in juice form. It promises vitamin C and immunity, but it floods your system with sugar and triggers silent inflammation in your arteries. And it may just be the most misleading fruit of all. Let's take a look. Fruit number 4, oranges, the hidden citric threat. Years ago, if someone asked me the healthiest way to start the day, I would have said orange juice. That's what we were taught. That's what most of us believed. It's bright, tangy, packed with vitamin C. If you grew up in the US, orange juice probably had a permanent spot on your breakfast table. I can still see my father sipping from a tall glass in the early morning sun, confident he was doing something good for his heart. But 3 decades later, we know better. Especially for men over 60, that glass of orange juice may be one of the worst things you can consume. If staying sharp, strong, and intimate matters to you, it's time to take a closer look. Let me tell you about Don, 74, retired engineer, smart, methodical, disciplined. He didn't smoke, drank very little, exercised regularly. But something had shifted in the last year. His erections weren't as firm, his stamina dropped. He felt insecure around his wife, not because of aging, but because despite doing everything right, he was still slipping. So we went over his daily routine, and sure enough, every morning began with a glass of orange juice, and often half an orange on top of that. He figured it helped his immunity. But here's what's actually happening under the hood. Orange juice and whole oranges, when overconsumed, deliver a massive sugar load. One glass can contain nearly 20 grams of sugar. And for men past 60, your body doesn't handle that sugar like it used to. It causes a sharp rise in blood glucose, followed by an insulin spike. That crash that follows? It's not just fatigue, it's inflammation. And chronic inflammation hardens arteries, restricts blood flow, and disrupts your body's ability to perform intimately. And there's more. Oranges are very acidic. That acidity can irritate the lining of your stomach, especially if consumed first thing in the morning. When your gut lining is chronically irritated, it sets off a systemic inflammatory response throughout the body. And for men trying to preserve nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and enables blood to flow smoothly, this is devastating. Without sufficient nitric oxide, your vessels can't open up. No dilation means no blood flow, and no blood flow means no intimacy. Don was stunned. "Are you saying orange juice is hurting me?" he asked. "I've been drinking it since childhood." I get it. These habits are deeply rooted. They feel safe. But just because something has always been part of your life doesn't mean it still belongs. Our bodies evolve. What once worked may now be working against you. I suggested Don swap out his morning OJ for just 4 ounces of 100% pomegranate juice. 2 weeks in, he felt more energetic. A month later, his erections were back. His wife even called to thank me. "He's himself again," she laughed, and he truly was. More focused, more present, more vibrant. That's the shift that happens when you stop resisting biology and start partnering with it. Oranges aren't the enemy, but after 60, they're certainly not your ally. Not if you care about circulation, performance, and feeling like your full self. Now you might be wondering, what should you eat instead? Don't worry, we're getting to that, because avoiding these 4 fruits is only half the picture. Up next, I'll walk you through exactly what to eat instead. Fruit swaps that support your hormones, boost your blood flow, and help you reclaim your edge. The truth is, a better sex life and stronger circulation could begin with something as basic as changing what's in your fruit bowl. Let me show you how. 5. The 4 fruit swap plan. Your simple daily fix. Right now, you might be feeling discouraged or even a bit misled. And honestly, I understand. For years, we've been led to believe that fruit is among the healthiest things we can eat. And in many ways, that's still accurate. But what rarely gets explained, what most doctors don't even mention, is that not all fruits benefit you equally, especially after the age of 60. When I sit down and speak honestly with men about their health, their confidence, and their relationships, they're often stunned to learn that something as simple as fruit could be contributing to the problem. But this isn't about blame. It's about awareness, about knowing more so you can do better. And here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit completely. You just need to be more intentional. Choose the ones that support testosterone, enhance blood flow, and encourage nitric oxide production rather than sabotage it. That's the whole idea behind the 4 fruit swap plan. Picture your kitchen counter. Maybe there's a bunch of bananas in the fruit bowl. Maybe you've got grapes in the fridge. Maybe you just cut up a pineapple, or you've been drinking orange juice every morning for as long as you can remember. These fruits may have been just fine for your body years ago, but your body today is not the same as it was in your 30s. It needs support that's more focused, more thoughtful, more aligned with where you are in life. So here's what I want you to do. Just make simple swaps. Nothing extreme, no complicated diets. Just replace each of these fruits with a better alternative. For instance, if you're eating pineapple, trade it for watermelon. Watermelon is rich in citrulline, which helps your body naturally generate more nitric oxide. That means better circulation, stronger erections, and improved cardiovascular health without any medication. If grapes are your favorite snack, switch to blueberries. Blueberries are lower in sugar and packed with antioxidants that protect your blood vessels, keeping them healthy and elastic. If your mornings start with a banana, try having half an avocado instead. Avocados provide healthy fats that stabilize hormones, promote testosterone production, and fight inflammation. Key benefits for men over 60 who want to stay vibrant and engaged in every area of life. And if you're still sipping orange juice or eating oranges, make the switch to a few ounces of pure pomegranate juice. Pomegranate is a powerhouse for male health. Studies show it helps increase testosterone, boost nitric oxide, and support erectile function in men with blood flow concerns. I know these might seem like small changes, but I've seen firsthand how much of a difference they can make. My patients often report feeling more energized in the morning. They're more present in their relationships, more confident in the bedroom. And what's amazing, it doesn't take months. Some men notice results in just a week or two. This is about giving your body what it truly needs, not what outdated advice tells you is healthy. It's about aligning your diet with your age, your goals, and the life you still want to lead. I've seen men go from feeling defeated to feeling empowered, all by changing the fruit on their plate. And if they can do it, you can too. But knowing what to eat is just the first step. What matters most is what you choose to do with that knowledge. And in this final section, I'm going to give you clear, actionable steps to help you reclaim your blood flow, protect your performance, and create a routine that keeps you energized and strong every single day. Let's make it happen. 6. What you need to do today. Now that you've learned the truth, I want to speak to you directly, man to man, about what comes next. Because information, no matter how valuable, means nothing unless you act on it. And if there's one lesson I've learned in over 30 years of helping men improve their health, it's this. The smallest steps, repeated consistently, lead to the biggest changes. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You don't need to throw away your pantry, follow some extreme plan, or chase expensive solutions. What you need is a decision to take ownership of the one thing no one else can manage for you, your health. And that starts today. After this video, I want you to walk into your kitchen and take an honest look around. If you see pineapple, grapes, bananas, or oranges, get rid of them. Don't leave them in the fridge thinking, just one more time. Don't make excuses. You've heard the facts. You feel the truth. These fruits are no longer helping you, not at this point in your life. Then go out and replace them. Pick up some watermelon. Grab a pint of blueberries. Choose a few ripe avocados. Find a bottle of 100% pomegranate juice. These are not exotic or hard-to-find foods. They're available at most grocery stores, ready to work with your body, not against it. And I want you to understand something very clearly. This is about more than just food. It's about power. When you start taking control of what goes into your body, you start reclaiming the parts of yourself you may have thought were gone. Your confidence, your energy, your strength, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I've seen men in their 70s turn everything around in just a few weeks, not because of some secret pill, but because they stopped following the status quo and started doing what actually works for their bodies. And if you feel skeptical, that's okay. Change is uncomfortable at first, but I promise you, it's worth it. Your body is wired to heal. Your blood vessels are ready to open. Your hormones are ready to recalibrate. Your energy is ready to return. You just have to give your body a reason to respond. So here's my suggestion. For the next 14 days, commit to the swaps I've shown you. No pineapple, no grapes, no bananas, no oranges, just their replacements. Fruits that reduce inflammation, support testosterone, and help your blood flow exactly where it's needed. Drink more water, take a walk every morning if you can, get sunlight on your skin. Keep it simple. Just start. And as you make these changes, I want you to tune in to how you feel. Not just physically, but emotionally. Are your mornings lighter? Is your thinking sharper? Do you feel more connected in your relationship, more grounded in your body? These are the signs that you're working with your biology, not against it. I've had men tell me their wives noticed a change, not just in the bedroom, but in how they connected. Because when a man feels strong and centered, he brings that energy into every part of his life. So don't let this video become another thing you watch and forget. Let this be the moment you chose differently. The moment you said, no more drifting, I'm taking the wheel. And if you're wondering what comes next, stick with me. Because in this final part of the video, I'm going to share something I reserve for my private patients. A message that brings everything together and reminds you why this journey is about so much more than fruit. It's about legacy, connection, and the man you're still becoming. Let's end strong. If you've made it this far, I want to say something most men your age don't hear enough. I'm proud of you. You showed up. You took the time to learn, to reflect, and to face some hard truths that others might avoid. That tells me something important. You're not ready to give up. You still care. You still want to feel like the man you are, and that matters more than you think. We've covered a lot today. You now understand how 4 common fruits, pineapple, grapes, bananas, and oranges, can silently disrupt your circulation, alter your hormones, and chip away at your energy and intimacy. Not because they're inherently bad, but because your body's needs have changed. What supported you at 35 might be undermining you at 65. You've also seen how simple swaps, watermelon for pineapple, blueberries for grapes, avocado for banana, and pomegranate juice for orange juice, can help restore blood flow, protect testosterone, and bring back a sense of vitality that you might have thought was gone for good. And I get it. Some of what you heard today might have surprised you. It might have challenged beliefs you've had for decades. That's normal. I've had men stare at me like I was nuts when I told them to ditch bananas or cut orange juice. But weeks later, they'd come back with more color in their cheeks, more energy in their step, and that unmistakable look in their eyes that says, I feel like myself again. Because here's the truth, brother. Aging doesn't mean decline. It doesn't mean surrendering your fire. It doesn't mean trading strength for weakness or desire for detachment. It means learning how to work with your body in new ways. It means honoring the life you've built by taking care of the body that's carried you this far. You're not done. You've got more life to live, more joy to experience, more love to give. I've seen men who thought their best years were behind them reclaim their health and rebuild their confidence, not through some miracle treatment, but by learning, shifting, and deciding to take charge. And you can do that too, starting right now. Every bite you take, every morning you wake up, every step you choose, each one is a chance to support the man you want to be. And here's the best part. The power is still yours. You're not broken. You're not past your peak. You're just in a new chapter that asks for deeper care, sharper focus, and greater wisdom. This isn't only about nutrition. It's about clarity, energy, connection, and pride. It's about being present for the ones who love you and showing up fully for the moments that truly matter. It's about proving to yourself that you still have what it takes to feel strong, stand tall, and live wide awake. So as we close, I invite you to take everything you've learned today and put it into practice. Not next week, not when it's easier. Today, clear out your fridge, choose the right fruits, drink water, move your body, eat for your heart, your hormones, your future. You deserve to feel good again, not once in a while, but every day. You deserve mornings full of clarity, afternoons rich with energy, and nights where you feel close, alive, and engaged. And if something stirred in you while listening, if a spark lit up that you thought was gone, don't ignore it. Let it grow. Let it guide you, because the truth is simple. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning.